Rolex. Rolex produces over 1 million watches per year and still has a wait list. The Submariner, the Daytona, the GMT Master, none available at retail without a purchase history at the boutique. Rolex invented the system where buying cheaper models earns the right to buy expensive ones. Customers pay to qualify. The secondary market sells Rolexes at 2 to 3 times retail because the primary market is deliberately inaccessible. A watch company that controls demand so precisely that its products appreciate the moment they leave the store. The waitlist is not a problem, it is the product. Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe has never been owned by a corporation. The Stern family has controlled it since 1932 and has refused every acquisition offer, including several from LVMH. Annual production, approximately 60,000 watches. A Grandmaster chime sold at auction for $31 million, the most expensive watch ever sold. Patek's marketing slogan reframes ownership entirely. You are not a buyer, you are a temporary custodian, passing the watch to the next generation. A brand that tells customers they don't actually own what they just paid $100,000 for, and customers find this romantic rather than insulting. Audemars Piguet. In 1972, Audemars Piguet released a sports watch made entirely of steel and priced it higher than gold watches from competitors. The industry called it a mistake. The Royal Oak, designed by Gerald Genta in one night, became the watch that proved steel could be luxury. Every luxury steel sports watch that followed, the Patek Nautilus, the IWC Engineer, exists because Audemars Piguet charged an impossible price for an impossible material, and the market accepted it. The Royal Oak didn't follow luxury logic, it rewrote it. Richard Mille. Richard Mille launched his first watch in 2001 at a price of $70,000. It was made from materials previously used only in Formula One cars and aerospace components. Titanium, carbon nanofiber, Lidl alloy. Rafael Nadal wore a Richard Mille worth $775,000 on his wrist during Grand Slam matches. The watch was designed to survive the impact forces of a professional tennis serve. A timepiece engineered to withstand 5,000 Gs of force, worn by the world's best tennis player during competition, is the most expensive advertisement in watchmaking history. Richard Mille understood that the wrist is a billboard. Vacheron Constantin. Vacheron Constantin has been in continuous operation since 1755, making it the oldest watch manufacturer on Earth without a single interruption. Through the French Revolution, 2 world wars, the quartz crisis that nearly destroyed the Swiss industry in the 1970s, Vacheron never stopped. The brand produces approximately 20,000 watches annually, each requiring between 40 and 800 hours of hand finishing. Vacheron holds the record for the most complicated watch ever made, the reference 57260, with 57 complications, took 8 years to build. A company that survived everything for 270 years by doing one thing: refusing to simplify. Omega. Omega went to the moon. NASA selected the Speedmaster in 1965 after testing watches against extreme heat, vacuum, humidity, and shock. Every other brand failed. Omega passed. The Speedmaster has been on every crewed NASA mission since. Omega also times the Olympic Games, a sponsorship held since 1932. The brand sits in a precise market position, expensive enough to signal success, accessible enough to actually sell volume. James Bond wears Omega. Astronauts wore Omega. The positioning is deliberate, aspirational but achievable. Not every brand can claim the moon and the multiplex simultaneously. Cartier. Cartier made the first wristwatch worn by a man in 1904. Louis Cartier designed it for aviator Alberto Santos Dumont, who needed to check the time without taking his hands off the controls during flight. The Santos watch is still in production 120 years later. Cartier then created the tank in 1917, inspired by the aerial view of WW1 Caterpillar tanks. Both watches remain among the most recognized designs in history. Cartier doesn't make watches. Cartier makes objects that carry their historical context on the wrist. Every Santos sold today is a direct line back to a Brazilian aviator flying over Paris in 1906.